The stats are in, and what a shock. Guess what they confirm? They confirm what anyone who isn't completely mentally retarded already knew. That the invaders contribute absolutely nothing economically. Which I know is a great shock, because there's so many of them that are doctors and engineers, and oh, they're just propping up our national health system. Even though if you got rid of all the invaders, that would be, what, a third of the people gone? So there'd actually be a lot less strain on the National Health Service. 10 years ago, before we were fully fucking captured, the invasion was like still ongoing rather than just like, we are now invaded. I went to an emergency. I went to Northern General Emergency Hospital place. And I was the only white guy in there. Now, admittedly, Northern General is in Pittsmore, which is a shit half of Sheffield, which got invaded about 20 years ago. But honestly, I was the only white guy in there. And you know what I realised? None of these people were ill. They were all just scroungers. Like, they'd come from countries where you don't get anything. Even if you fucking have some money, you don't get anything. Because there is nothing. All they've got is fucking mud huts. And Batchabazing. So, they come to a country where suddenly you get stuff for free. And these love free stuff. They fucking love the scrounge. Obviously, they're all on benefits. And they were just, you could just see that they were there. One, because it was free. And two, because somebody was giving them attention. They've never had attention before. Honestly, I'm at the point where I don't think these cultures even... We are so different. I'm not saying they don't love their children. But I am saying there's a difference. A lot, and I've even heard migrants admit to this, a lot of, the situation these people live in, low IQ societies that can't create anything, therefore it's all about survival, they have children for economic reasons. And it's kind of like betting against the odds. Like, if I have 10, well, 2 will die and 3 will be retarded because I'm shagging my cousin. But there might be 4 that can support me when I'm older. So even from their own parents, like, they're just not used to being cared for. So when they come to England, and suddenly there's this free service that to them will feel caring, they just love it. And there were just fucking hundreds of them in there, all just for attention. And something to do, because they all just sit around on fucking benefits all day, scrounge you. Oh no, sorry, they're great engineers creating great things. Well, why are their countries so fucking shit then? So once again, the poor Chinese and Southeast Asians have been lumped in with the fucking Starnies. It's just, what can you imagine? Like, how gutted would it be? Remember when they were calling it Asian grooming gangs, and you're Chinese, and you're like, hang on a minute, my dick's not even big enough to fucking do that. But that was a joke. They actually have a moral compass and some sort of ethics and morality, unlike the ones from Pakistan. Fucking awful. I'm almost certain that Chinese people will be contributing to society, but because they're lumped in with the fucking worst of the worst, the Afghanis, the Pakistanis, even they're a net loss. And then of course, the biggest net loss is the sub-Saharans, who have a IQ level that is classed as retarded in the Western world. So yeah, what a surprise that they can't contribute. And of course, the only soon-to-be ethnic minority in England, white people, the only group that are contributing and therefore propping up all the other scroungers that shouldn't even be here, is of course English people. And by that I mean English people that look like this, that have this DNA, this complexion, this ancestry, not people who have been given a bit of paper. And when you do get the very, 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 very small percentage that may be able to contribute something, I mean, I would massively question, even if they are a doctor, where were they trained, how were they trained? I mean, doctors are fucking useless anyway, because all they are vaccine pharmaceutical sales agents. And actually, when we have our awakening, they will be seen as some of the most vile people in society, along with teachers, in terms of I was just doing my job, in in terms of the effect they've had on society, the conditioning in terms of teachers, and the death cult in terms of doctors. But let's just pretend none of that's true and doctors are actually good. So we get told, loads of these are doctors. Well, a very, very small percentage of them are. And this is how bad it is. We've had to completely change all of our standards for them. Can you imagine reading 20 years ago, before the invasion, that a doctor hasn't been... why is he not in prison, first of all? He's raped someone. But, prison doesn't even seem to be a thing for grape anymore. If you call a brown person a rapist on social media, you'll go to prison. But if you actually grape someone, if you are brown, no problem. You don't know any better, so we need a two-tier system that takes into account the fact you don't know any better. So not only has he not gone to jail, he hasn't even been struck off. What's his name? Dr. Aloy Foyman Yemen. He's one of them. One of them invaders. So, because we have to justify this somehow, and we do have some fucking doctors from, third world shitholes, well, obviously they're just going to grape, because that's all they know, that's what they do. So, I'm pretty sure 20 years ago, if a doctor graped someone, they would get struck off. And I'm pretty sure they'd have gone to prison. If they're white, they'd definitely go to prison. But maybe not if they were brown. But now we've got to a point where, because we have so many doctors, still, a very, 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 very small percentage compared to all the fucking crap that we have on the benefit system from third world countries. But because we have let so many in, inevitably, some of them will be doctors. So we now have had to change the standards of doctors to the point where you're allowed one-off grape. Honestly, am I honestly reading this headline right? He wasn't struck off because the grape was a one-off. I think you'll find it won't be a one-off. I think you'll find he'll go on to do it again. Fuck me. But our NHS would crumble without them. Oh, and what about the care homes? Have you seen all these vile videos that YouTube won't even let me show of black care assistants beating, and I mean beating, 19-year-old women who are fucking almost paralysed already? They're vile. So they don't contribute nothing. Even the very, very small percentage that are in work, they don't contribute nothing. I won't want them looking after my parents. I won't want them looking after me when I'm elderly. I don't trust them at all. I've even left the country so I don't have to be around them. I choose countries that don't let fucking sub-Saharans in. Which there are many of, because there's many countries that still respect themselves and haven't gone through great affluence, which then creates fucking crazy ideologies like feminism, which then lead to wokeism and fucking crazy shit like tranny bollocks. Do you think there's any fucking trannies out here? Like, yeah, okay, in Thailand you get some for sexual reasons. But, you think people have got time to worry about their fucking gender out here? Like, no, they're living, they're surviving, life's still fucking real. This article is unreal. The General Medical Council, which regulates the register of doctors licensed in practice in the UK, has asked for an independent panel, because the police did nothing. So they asked for an independent panel ran by the Medical Practitioners Tribunal Service to permanently erase Dr. Foy Yemen's licence. However, the panel stopped short, stating that Dr. Foy Yema had not abused his position of trust as a doctor because the victim wasn't a patient, and noted a series of glowing testimonials from colleagues. How do you feel about that, women? Do you feel safe with a known rapist treating you when you're at your most vulnerable? But it's okay, don't worry, because he didn't do it to a patient. He just did it to another woman, which means he's capable of doing it to you. How does that make you feel? Honestly, on a slight little tangent, AI, particularly Gemini, is such woke shit. I put a screenshot of this article into it and said, is this true? And it was like, no, there's absolutely no articles to be found to, this isn't true, basically. And I'd already recorded the video. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. I was like, oh, I'll just check. And I just put into Google, BBC doctor not struck off over one-off grape. Straight up, there's the article. It happened. Why is AI lying to me? Why is AI so woke? Why is it trying to condition us all? Is it demonic? But even with the colossal drain on society that these people are, even with the grapes, you know, we're still told diversity is our strength. But here's the truth about diversity. This is what diversity really means. And of course, it's the totalitarian tiptoe. You know, they start with your cities, then they come for your countryside. But actually, it's the white race that they're coming for, and have already got many of. Especially if they conscript us all and send us off to these, fuck it, I'm gonna say it, these fake fucking wars. Allegedly, maybe, just my opinion, not true, nothing I say is true, comedic performance. These white meat grinders, such as Russia versus Ukraine. And with these people contributing so much in the taking of welfares and the graping of people, God forbid we insult them by flying our own flag. I mean, it isn't actually our flag, is it? This flag is all part of the conditioning. You know, this is watering it down. We are English, we're not British. You know, it's like the more you remove people from their identity, the more you are then able to dilute that. So, you know, they made it Britain instead of England, Scotland and Wales, where people actually have an attachment to their own country and lands. They made us a bit detached for it. And then we didn't kick off quite so much when we started handing out British passports to retarded riffraff. Honestly, the hatred I feel towards that copper, like the amount of indoctrination and libtardation, like he looked like he actually believed in it and enjoyed that. But you know, many police aren't. And you know, I used to think in COVID, I used to think that there's going to be an awakening and the police will either stand with the people or they will quit. And I used to see that as a really good thing. But the problem we've got now is when they quit, they get replaced with either fat fucking libtard bitches.
What are you having for lunch? Can I have a look?
Got a cheese sandwich.
And what else?
And some crisps.
And what else?
And a chocolate bar.
Ah, what's them? Are they Reese?
Yeah.
Are they nice?
Yeah, I like a bit of deep stuff.
Yeah, you continue with your lunch. I don't want to disturb your lunch. I'm just trying to explain that to you.
No, there's no issue and no disturbance.
I just thought, why are you so upset? I'm talking.
Who are completely conditioned because they react emotionally rather than logically, and they don't seem to be able to spot danger, which is actually, it's not a criticism, you know, it's their genetic makeup. They're not meant to, you know, the men are meant to protect the tribe, and the women create the fucking tribe through birth and looking after children. It's not that anything's better, you know, they're both essential roles. But in this modern society, we're putting women in the men's role, the role of protecting police, and because they don't think logically and they are emotional, they will, you know, buy into the wokeism and diversity as our strength and all that. And also, why are they all so fucking fat? I mean, look at this fat bitch. How can she be a fucking police officer? Like, where have our standards gone? No, that's bad. But it's not as bad as when they put the invaders in, which is obviously what they're going to do. As every English police officer gets to a point where they can't do it anymore, they just can't enforce tyranny, they can't sleep at night, they will get replaced by a fucking invader that absolutely hates you, whose whole ideology is to destroy you because that's what his precious book tells him, and probably can't even speak English. Look at this fucking retarded situation.
What's it say?
What are you doing?
Just carry on.
Stacy, I have the belief that you may be in possession of drug.
What? What's
Yes, I got the belief that you may be in possession of drug.
Are you even an
Stop being
officer?
rude and just listen to him.
That's why I want to search you.
What's your name first before you search, man?
I want to search you under section 23.
Yeah,
23,
can I have your name,
23.
please?
Say your collar number, Michael.
My color number is 08387. 08387.
Where are you based?
I'm Longside Police Station.
And what do you want to do, search, man?
I have the reason to believe that you may be in possession of drug. And
Possession of drugs?
Yeah.
So that's the state of UK policing, that's the state of UK doctors graping, That's the state of the welfare system. That's the absolute tyranny and parasitic nature that has been forced onto English people, supporting all these third worlders who hate them, who disrespect their country, who rape their children, who attack them on nights out, who have made it so we can't even get on public transport without risking our own life. I mean, I could just go on and on and on, and yet we have to pay for it. We have to support it. I think that's all I can say for this video. Fuck me, and I haven't even mentioned the Epstein files. What a world we live in. Oh, the only way to make this stop is to disengage from the system, which I know is incredibly difficult. But it's something that we must all be working towards, whether that's getting off grid, whether that's getting out of the country and no longer contributing to the tax system, whether that's just fudging your books so you don't contribute to the tax system. However it looks for you, disengage, disengage, disengage. See you later.